I am losing all my memories. I don't know how much longer I'll remember who I am, so I need to write this down while I still can. My name is Alice Kane, or at least, I think it is. I'm 34 years old, and I used to be a software engineer. But lately, the details of my life feel like fragments of a broken mirror, scattered and incomplete. It all started 3 months ago. I woke up one morning and couldn't remember where I'd put my phone. It wasn't unusual. I'd misplaced things before. But as I turned my small apartment upside down, I realized I couldn't even remember if I'd charged it the night before or if I'd used it at all. When I finally found it in the freezer, of all places, I laughed it off as a weird mistake. Then I started forgetting more important things. I forgot my best friend Lily's birthday, something I'd never done before. When she called me, hurt and confused, I apologized profusely, blaming it on work stress. But the truth was, I didn't even remember that her birthday was in June until she mentioned it. Next, I forgot how to log into my bank account. The password I'd used for years was gone from my mind as if it had never existed. At first, I chalked it up to stress. Work had been overwhelming lately, and I wasn't sleeping well. But then I started forgetting parts of my daily routine, whether I'd eaten lunch, taken my vitamins, or locked the front door. The worst part was the dreams. They started as faint impressions, barely remembered when I woke up. I'd see flashes of a dark, endless corridor, stretching out in every direction. I was walking down it, my footsteps echoing in the void, but no matter how far I went, I never reached the end. Over time, the dreams became more vivid. I began to hear whispers in the darkness, voices calling my name. Alice, come back, come back. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, my heart pounding in my chest. But the worst part wasn't the fear, it was the strange sense of familiarity. It was as if I'd been there before. I went to see a doctor after I forgot my own mother's name during a phone call. She'd been talking about her new garden, and I wanted to ask her something, but when I opened my mouth, I couldn't remember what to call her. Mom, I finally said, but the word felt foreign, wrong. The doctor ran a battery of tests, blood work, cognitive assessments, even an MRI. Everything came back normal. He suggested I might be experiencing stress-induced memory loss and referred me to a therapist. But therapy didn't help. The memories kept slipping away faster and faster. I started writing everything down in a journal, appointments, conversations, random thoughts, anything to try to hold on to the pieces of my life. That's when I noticed something strange. One day, while flipping through the journal, I found an entry I didn't remember writing. It was dated 2 weeks earlier and described a trip to the park with Lily. The entry was detailed, what we'd talked about, what I'd eaten, even the color of the scarf Lily had worn. But when I asked her about it, she looked at me like I was crazy. Alice, she said gently, we haven't been to the park in months. I showed her the entry, but she just shook her head. Maybe you dreamed it, she suggested. But I knew I hadn't. The dreams grew worse. The corridor was no longer empty. Shadows moved in the darkness, shifting and writhing as if alive. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. Alice, come back. You're forgetting. One night, I woke up with a name on my lips, a name I didn't recognize. Eliandra. I had no idea who or what Eliandra was, but the name felt heavy with meaning, as if it were the key to everything. Desperate for answers, I turned to the internet. I spent hours researching memory loss, lucid dreams, and sleep disorders, but nothing matched what I was experiencing. Then, on a forum for people with unexplained experiences, I found a post that stopped me cold. The title read, "Does anyone else feel like they're losing their memories to something?" The post described everything I'd been going through: missing memories, vivid dreams of endless corridors, and whispers in the dark. It was written by someone named Daniel, and it had been posted 6 months ago. I sent him a private message, hoping for a response. A day later, I got one. Daniel's reply was brief but chilling. I've been where you are. It's not a disease, it's something else. Meet me tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the Greenfield Diner. Don't tell anyone. The next day, I arrived at the diner, my heart pounding. Daniel was already there, a man in his late 40s with tired eyes and a nervous energy. "Thank you for meeting me," I said, sliding into the booth across from him. He nodded, glancing around as if to make sure we weren't being watched. "I don't have much time," he said. "They'll come for me soon." "Who?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He leaned forward. "The ones who take the memories." Daniel explained that the dreams weren't just dreams. The corridor was real, a place between worlds where memories were stored. "Something lives there," he said, his voice trembling. "Something ancient and hungry. It feeds on our memories, piece by piece, until there's nothing left." "Why me?" I asked. He shook his head. "I don't know. Maybe you've been marked. Maybe you stumbled too close to something you shouldn't have." I wanted to dismiss his words as the ramblings of a paranoid man, but deep down, I knew he was right. That night, the whispers in my dreams were deafening. "Alice, come back. You're almost gone." When I woke up, I couldn't remember my own last name. Desperate, I went back to the diner the next day, but Daniel wasn't there. The waitress said he hadn't shown up for his usual coffee. I went to the forum hoping for another message, but his account was gone. It was as if he'd never existed. Now I'm writing this as a final record, a last-ditch effort to hold on to who I am. But even as I type, I can feel the memories slipping away. I don't know how much longer I have before I'm completely gone, before the thing in the corridor takes everything. If you're reading this, please don't ignore the signs. The lost memories, the dreams, the whispers. It's not just in your head. Something is out there, and it's hungry. And now, it's coming for me. I can hear it whispering my name. "Alice, come back."